And not that, you must eat an apple or a banana. And if you don't, the curse of Allah is on you. This is not the correct dua. You, out of goodness, listen to your mother and father out of goodness for them. But a dua in this case is not acceptable. Why? Because it's good. It's alright. You might be thinking, but Sheikh, there is a hadith in Bukhari about a man who was praying and his mother called him. And he said, should I listen to my mother or should I keep praying? He said, so I chose to keep praying. And then she made a dua, may Allah not let me die until you see the wicked, dirty women. Until you are accused of, those dirty women. After a while, one day, a dirty woman, she committed adultery with someone, and she had a child from that someone. And when they found out, and that someone ran away, she accused this man that this is his child. And so the people accused him. The dua of the mother reached him. But after a while, the Rasul said, the child spoke in the cradle. And the man was made innocent. They destroyed his worshipping place that he was worshipping. And because of their guilt, they built it out of the finest material. Some said it was out of gold. The answer to that, the ulama said, is that when there is an act of worship that is involuntary and your parents need you, you should respond to your parents. Number two, which means you've got to prioritize. But if it is the fault, you don't. Because Allah's right for the fault is not the right of the mother or father. There's a priority. And the dua of the parents will be accepted unless it is good. If you realize in the hadith, what happened is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala channeled to the mother's dua, where it looked bad at first, He responded to her and gave it a twist in the end. He lost his house and they built him a golden house. His reputation went down, then it skyrocketed more than before. Do you see how Allah channels things? Brothers and sisters, Allah is just. You're born into those parents, you have to be patient. Not every parent and every child is going to be perfect. We all know that. There isn't a single family that does not have problems. Every family has problems. But we are tested with a lot of things. We are tested with our parents, with our children, with our siblings, with our spouses. It doesn't mean that we have to accept all oppression. If there is injustice done to us and we are being harmed from it, Islam doesn't say put your head down and let them step on it. Even if it's your own parents, even if it's your own children, your own siblings, your own relatives, doesn't matter. But instead you are allowed to distance from the harm that you're getting. But don't cut it off completely, as much as you can. I always say to parents and children and relatives, always keep a thread between you and that person, you and your relative. Maybe one day they'll change, and inshallah they'll reconcile. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, whoever would like that his life be filled with barakah, and that his wealth be filled with barakah, then connect your family ties within your ability. Don't say it's all or nothing. But Sheikh, they're toxic, distance. Make a circle. Which circle would you like to put them in? You don't have to be very close before. But avoid their harm. Rasulullah said, La taqul imma'a. Don't be a copycat. If people do good, that's the only time you do good. But if they do bad, you also do bad. No, he said if they do good, you do good. If they do bad, focus on avoiding their harm. Some people fail to even make dua for their parents or their siblings or their children in a good way. Why not say, oh Allah, forgive my parents and guide them? Like what Ibrahim alayhi salam teaches us when he made dua for his abusive father. قال سأستغفر لك ربي. My father, I will ask Allah to forgive you. إنه كان بي حفيا. Allah never leaves me. And I will call upon Allah to guide you, and so on and so forth. Nuh alayhi salam did not leave his son. Right in front of him, the waves came and took him right before his eyes. Yet he continued to try and guide his son to the last breath until the wave intercepted. We keep trying. Not a problem, Sheikh. I'll tell you why, brothers and sisters. I will tell you, when there is corruption in a community, and another community, the ummah is made up of communities. If every community is corrupt, the ummah is corrupt. Within the community there are families, family units. If the family units are corrupt, the community becomes corrupt. If the individuals in a family are corrupt, the family becomes corrupt. And if the individual is corrupt, the family is corrupt. Do you see how it's all connected? And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the parents with his name in the Quran. No other people are mentioned with Allah's name. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا إِمَّا يَبْلُغَنَّ عِندَكَ الْكِبَرَ أَحَدُهُمَا أَوْ كِلَاهُمَا فَلَا تَقُل لَّهُمَا أُفٍّ وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا وَقُل لَّهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا واخفض لهما جناح الذل من الرحمة وقل رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. Your Lord has commanded you to worship none other than Him and to be dutiful and good to your parents. No matter how old in age they get and how impatient you become, stop yourself from even saying oof to them. And lower your wing of humility to them and say, oh Allah, have mercy upon them as they raised me when I was a child. The mother has 3 extra rights of goodness from her children than the father. Why? There is no such thing as you have to love your mother 3 times more. Do you remember that nursery nasheed song? I respect and honor to your mother. Well, love, respect and honor. And what's there for the father? Love as well? It's not true that you're supposed to give love for your mother more than your father, or your father more than your mother. Love is in the control of Allah. And love is based on treatment too. How they treat you, the love will grow. So don't feel guilty if your love is a little bit higher for one than the other, maybe low for someone. You can't control that. But what you can control is your treatment. Even if they mistreat you, avoid their mistreatment as much as you can. However, the mother, she has 3 rights only because of this. She carried you in her womb. The father didn't. That's one right you're over. She went into labor and gave birth to you. You're over that. And number 3, she fed you from her body for whatever time. The father didn't until you were 1 or 2 years old or whatever. That's a 3rd right. Then the 4th right, both the father and mother become equal forever. Same. And the mother needs your suhbah. Suhbah means to accompany her and be there for her 3 times more than the father because of that. But if your father is in need and your mother is okay, you go to your father. And you try to serve both of them to the best of your ability. But because the mothers are generally considered that they're going to be a little bit weaker emotionally, physically, you like so or not. The mother is something else. The father is something else too. But try to please them both as much as you can. That's why, brothers and